So this week we've got a rundown of the best and worst tech of 2024. Our special guest is TV tech legend Spencer Kelly. And for our gadget of interest, we've got a tiny music player, the Mighty 3.
Suzi, what a year 2024 has been. We've had some amazing tech, much of which we've featured on This Here podcast. And talking of This Here podcast, you and I were brought back together in 2024. How about that?
I know, after all of these years. And it's been really special to be able to actually build this podcast with your help. And we've really enjoyed your comments. So thank you so much for your company.
Yeah, absolutely, Suzi. Well said. We love the comments. Keep them coming in. So first job at hand is a quick rundown of the best and worst tech of 2024.
Right, so let's start positive with the best then. What you got?
I'm going to go with MetaQuest 3. Now, wait a second, because you might be thinking, well, hang on a minute, Jace, that came out at the end of 2023. But really, it came into its own in 2024. And for me, I think if one thing came out of another huge announcement in the world of tech that came out in 2024, which was, of course, Apple's Vision Pro, which is an extraordinary piece of kit. And I'm sure you're aware, it's literally the first thing that we reviewed on this podcast in episode 1. The message was that the MetaQuest 3 represents incredible value for money.
Yeah.
So while the Vision Pro is what you get with the kind of money, no object approach to product design, the MetaQuest 3 is what you get if you say, we want a really good, immersive, mixed reality experience with pass-through as well as full immersive VR, productivity, apps, really immersive gaming, multiplayer, all that sort of stuff that VR and mixed reality do so well. But we want it to be affordable for normal people, right?
And sort also quite light
Christmas
on your head
present money.
as well.
Yeah, lightweight and subject to a constant stream of really quite game-changing updates. It's incredible. The MetaQuest 3 that I put on when I get home tonight is a substantially improved. It's almost unrecognizable from the product that I bought originally a year and a bit ago because they're constantly upgrading it. And I love that. It feels like really good value for money and a really good approach to customer service. And I should make mention of the MetaQuest 3S, which of course is their slightly less expensive, similarly featured, although not quite as powerful as the MetaQuest 3, a great piece of kit, a great release, and long may that whole product line continue.
Great opener. What about the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 6. This is Samsung's latest iteration of the Galaxy Z Flip series, and it's taken a foldable phone to new levels.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say, isn't it? Featuring more durable hinge, enhanced cameras, and a larger cover screen, which enhances usability and appeal, which is kind of what everybody was wanting.
If you're a flipper, then you know what we're talking about. There is a relatively small but very loyal and enthusiastic section of consumers that just are mad for these phones. And they did solve that issue around a crease in the screen.
Yeah.
You refer to it as the hinge part of the phone. And there's a number of really interesting kind of productivity, entertainment features that particular phone can deliver by virtue of it being a flip phone. So yeah, it's a really interesting product category, quite niche, but I think it deserves a place in some of the best of 2024.
Yeah, so we'll put that on our pedestal. What else you got?
How about DJI's Neo drone, which you'll know I was very enthusiastic about here in the studio. Super, super inexpensive. That's my first point, okay? You get changed from 170 quid.
Yeah.
So it is in that affordable for Christmas range without me kind of being unrealistic for most people's budgets. If you're after a drone, if you've got someone in your life who's a fan of drones.
A follow me drone, really, isn't it?
Well, it is the follow me drone par excellence. It followed me, didn't it? Around the studio. It did a really, really good job of it, ignoring the fact that I ran too close to the wall. But hey, it smacked into the wall, and then it was untouched because it's very rugged. It's got covered props, and it's designed to be almost bulletproof. And the other point I would make is it's very compatible with the whole ecosystem of DJI's drone products. So you can use it with the controller, you can use it with the goggles. I'm pretty sure you can do that. And I think that's great. So for a very small investment, you can buy a very feature-rich drone, and then you can expand the experience to a more serious drone setup if you want to.
And that durability and the lightness of it
So
makes
small,
it
so
really
light.
easy to sort of carry around with you
Yeah.
if you're travelling or whatever.
Built
So-
like a little flying tank, that thing.
Absolutely. What about the OnePlus Watch 2, which is a massive improvement on its predecessor? The OnePlus Watch 2 is a standout with a dual operating system that allows up to 100 hours of battery life in smartwatch mode. So it's a great choice for those who are looking for a stylish, powerful smartwatch.
Love it, love it, love it. And I tell you what else I love, and I think it should be up there in our recommended gadgets of 2024, the best of, LG's Cinebeam Q portable 4K projector. Now, what I like about this, really interesting design, really lovely piece of elegant, emotional product design, 4K resolution, which we like, good for watching movies. I'd say from a kind of refresh rate point of view, latency, less perfect for gaming, but casual gaming, it'll handle it. It'll handle the output from your console. But if you want to play, first-person shooters at the absolute kind of competition level, then maybe not quite there, but very, very affordable.
Really easy to set up as well, and
Yes.
it just works so beautifully.
And portable in that form factor. And don't forget the I was going to say included, but the speaker that's built into it. So actually, somewhat of a TV replacement if in the broadest terms. I mean, I wouldn't want to say that if someone spent a couple of grand on a QLED telly and a sound bar, it's going to replace that experience. It's not. But you can certainly enjoy a good immersive viewing experience with this little 4K projector.
So that's some of the good. Let's look at some of the not so good. Don't want to be too dismissive, but here's some of the bad.
Look, that's our job. Sometimes, we've got to squeeze the spot, all right?
All right.
And the one that I want to squeeze right now is the Humane AI pin, so that was meant to be a kind of wearable artificial intelligent assistant with a projector that projected onto your hand. And I know we're smiling, but it looked kind of cool. It was a little bit sci-fi, released in 2024 and kind of almost done in 2024. I don't know where they're at. I know this much, that they had a lot of returns, and despite a rather innovative out there design, which I have to applaud. I love it when people, go to town on a design and take some design risks. I think tech experts and consumers agreed it just didn't deliver.
No, it's just poor performance, wasn't it? They had so many returns, didn't they?
Well, I think there is at the moment, we're at the kind of, there is a lot of latency in consumer level AI experiences. So, for example, even when there's nothing in the way, so you're connected to by a fiber broadband connection, there's still latency in the response that you get from the cloud, right? And also Apple have shown that when Apple, with all of their money, like literally the most cash-rich tech company that have ever existed, right? They can throw enormous resources at just about anything. They just released a range of products that still, the AI still globally, let's say, isn't live. It's live in most territories, but we're very much at the very, very beginning of Apple Intelligence. Well, how was Humane AI, how are they going to get that sort of level of service when they don't even have that the sort of sophisticated silicon that Apple have bespoke designed for Apple Intelligence? They were using, I believe, and I might be speaking out of turn, so do fact check this, listeners and viewers, but I'm pretty sure it's a cloud connected device. And I certainly know this much, I haven't played with one. But the reviews from people that I trust showed that there was too much time between commands and asking it to identify things. There was a kind of, buffering process going on.
I think its ambition outweighed its talent.
It did, but I love ambition. I applaud ambition. Who knows? They could come back. It's happened.
Well, it could be ahead
come
of
back
its
with
time.
2.0 and it could smash it out the ballpark. We wait to be impressed in 2025.
Okay, I've got a downer on augmented reality glasses. So I'm throwing in BMW's AR glasses here because they were obviously intended for driving. They were meant to overlay information onto the real world, but instead they got heavily criticised as a potential distraction. A bit of your driving experience could lead to a cognitive overload, effectively. So it made it harder for drivers to focus on the road. So that one's in there for me this year.
I'm going to follow you, actually, with the Ray-Ban Meta glasses.
Oh, I'm really glad.
Well, again, they promised a lot. I think you've got to be wary. I tell you what, this is our watch phrase for 2025, right? If it ain't ready at launch, it might never be ready. And I include Apple in that. The Ray-Ban glasses, I remember...
That's why they've changed their ethos. Because they want to be ready for their launch.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're not launching everything together. That's what I'm saying. That's
That's
why
right. I understand what you mean
They're
now.
launching stuff when it's ready.
Yeah, the Ray-Ban Meta glasses, were meant to identify things when you looked at them and all that sort of stuff. And I put them on with that kind of marketing promise in mind, and that function wasn't live. Now, I'm going to put a little notation in here and say that if I put them on now, they might have unlocked that feature, right? But the reason that I think we need to put them in the not so successful category of gadgets for 2024 is because they didn't do it out of the box. And I think this is a worrying trend, and we need to stamp it out. We need to say to manufacturers, if it ain't ready, don't tell me, don't build my expectation.
I think there was a lack of social acceptance as well. I don't think the market's quite ready yet.
For those of us with cameras in our glasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's some good and some bad. But
Yeah.
I think overall it's fair to say that 2024 has been a great year for consumer technology. And here's to whatever's going to come in 2025.
I can't believe we're talking about 2025. It's like living in a science fiction movie.